Welcome to More Stuff Coin Collection channel. My name is MCC. Happy Easter, everyone. Whatever you do, just wish you a relaxed holiday. Easter holiday is Australia public holiday, so I spend a little bit of time with my family on the day trips the other days. But I still think about my channel, and now I'm back to my episode to do my episode. So happy to talk on my own channel again. Today, I'm going to talk about James Bond. However, I'm not going to cover details in all 007 movies. You probably have watched all of them or some of your favorite ones in the recent years, or you are curious to click this episode to find out some useful information. You are all welcome. I will mainly focus on the connection between the past Bond movies, films, as you may call it, and the released coins. No matter whether you are fans of James Bond 007 or just the coin collectors, or you are both 007 fans and coin collectors, you probably try to figure out why there's so many James Bond silver coins being released in recent years, since 2020. For this episode, I'm trying to demystify James Bond 007 Silver Coin Collection Series. Before I start, I just want to spend a few quick seconds about James Bond. Who is James Bond? Probably you know. James Bond is a fictional British Secret Service agent who is created by writer Ian Fleming in year 1953. He is also known by the code number 007. Since the birth of this character, James Bond appeared to be in novels, television, radio, comics, and films. Today we talk about films about James Bond, which are relevant to James Bond 007 coin released in recent years, since he was first portrayed by actor Sean Connery in the first franchise film Dr. No in year 1962. James Bond has gained millions of fans worldwide over the years. It seems that there are so many James Bond related silver coins these years. I'd like to talk about them one by one. First collection series I want to talk about today is the 25 half Aussie silver coin collection. Why I talk about this first? Because it has a large number of coins, and there's 25 coins in total. The size of the coins are just half Aussie. Mintage is exactly 12,007 for each coin. The interesting thing is most of the time they issue approved coin was 1 Aussie in size, but why this is half size, I've been wondering all the time. But think about its cost. At the moment, half Aussie of those coins is about $90 each, and plus collection set box. You probably roughly spend a total of 2,500 Australian dollars to collect the whole set. Imagine if it's in 1 Aussie coin. With as I did some research, it's roughly about 150 Australian dollars for 1 Aussie proof coins nowadays. So the total cost will be about 3,750. So which is a lot than 2,500. So I guess it's too much for the coin collector to collect the whole set. So it's going to be less affordable. I think that's one of the reasons. In terms of about 25 coins, why we got a 25 coins? Because in the past there are 25 James Bond movie by 6 characters, and let me show you some slides. So the first 6 James Bond movie was portrayed by Sean Connery. as you can see on my screen. The seventh one, it was portrayed by George. And following that, there's in total 7 movies portrayed by Roger Moore. And afterwards, Timothy Dalton in 2 James Bond movie, and Pierce Brosnan in 4 James Bond movie. And the last 5 was portrayed by Daniel Craig after year 2000. So in terms of a release year, as you can see, because there's so many coins to be released, in total is 25. So first 12 coin were released in year 2021, including all the Sean Connery movie, George on Her Majesty's Secret Service, and the first 5 Roger Moore 007 movies. And in year 2022 included the last 2 of Roger Moore's James Bond movie, Timothy Dalton's movie, Pierce Brosnan's, and Daniel Craig. I just try to analyze some of the pros and cons of collecting this series. In terms of for pros, I think in terms for the availability, because they were released in year 2021, 2022, and there's a large mintage, so it's relatively easy for coin collector to have the whole set. As you can see, there's still plenty on the Mint website. Second pro, I think, is its affordability. Although 2,500 is quite a lot of money, but if you are a coin collector, especially James Bond movie fans, I think you are willing to spend that amount of money. Third is you collect the whole set, because bear in mind that Queen Elizabeth has been reigning over these years, so all these 6 movie actors has been providing the Secret Service to the Queen. I can imagine that in the future franchise films, definitely will be some new agent and who will serve the King instead of Queen. So from that point of view, you get the whole set. I think that's a good point of this whole collection. For the coins, I think it's as a coin collector, it's less challenging to collect because you can have all of them in one order, so has less fun to collect. So especially for those coin collector, you would like to spend a couple of years to collect your whole coin set. It's just a little bit less challenging. In terms of its mintage, I think it's a little bit too much because it's above 10,000. So as you know, there's a large quantity of mintage there is, the less chance of becoming more valuable in the future. Collection series, I call it collection series 2. Daniel Craig, 007 movie. If you just become a fan of James Bond movie in recent 20 years, you probably know about Daniel Craig. He's been acting as a James Bond from his first movie, Casino Royale, since year 2006 until his last movie in 2021, No Time to Die. Besides those 5 coins out of 25 half Aussie coin collection, he also has 5 grams silver for release, which covers all his 5 films in the past. So these are like a poster style foil, and with a weight of about 5 grams each in silver, and has all those has a display stand, so you can just display them together. Some of the pawns I think is those ones are released in year 2020, which is early than those 25 coin collection series. So I will talk about later why No Time to Die was released in year 2020 in more details later. So prawns, it's easy to collect as if you are a fan of Daniel Craig, as those 5 foil were released in the same year in 2020, and you only need to collect 5 of them, so it's relatively easy to achieve. Coins, as a traditional coin collectors, if there's a version of the round coins and or the poster, I will always choose a round shape silver collection, because it's not traditional shape, and maybe in the future I'm wondering whether there's a market for this, especially except you are a James Bond 007 fans who are really interested in this and want to buy from someone who already have this in the future. Collection Series 3, I call it Series 3. Bond Legacy 1 Aussie Silver Coin Series. The first was issued in year 2021, showing all the movie portrayed by Sean Connery. Second issue was in last year, 2022, list all the movies by Roger Moore. And you know what? Soon we'll have a third issue. If you check the Purse Mint official website, the release date will be on 16th May this year, which is about in 1 month's time. Who will be on the coin? I'm just curious. I really doubt about Timothy Dalton, because he only acted in 2 James Bond movies. I would assume the third one will be Pierce Brosnan. Very probable will be Pierce. But who knows? Could be Daniel Craig. Bronze coins. These coins are a good size because they are in 1 Aussie and colored proof coin. It takes a couple of years to collect. Seems like they release one each year, and it's quite interesting to collect. Maximum is about 4 coins, I would assume, and so it's relatively easy to collect the full set. The coins, I think, except the actors themselves are in color. The list of movies besides the actors are less eye appealing because they are seems like quite boring, less creative. Because but I totally understand, because considering the size is only 1 Aussie instead of 2 Aussie or 5 Aussie, I guess that's not much they can do about the coins. Collection Series 4, 007 movie anniversary 1 Aussie silver coin series. This is all the coins I can find from the official Purse Mint website at the moment. Forgive me if I miss any of that. What I can find is 2 coins are released in year 2020. With one is No Time to Die. Why was released in that year is to celebrate its movie release, and another one also released in the same year. It's for the movie GoldenEye, celebrate its 25th anniversary, because it was first in the cinema back in year 1995, exactly 25 years. The other 2 are released in year 2021. One is For Your Eyes Only, celebrate its 40th anniversary. Another is Diamonds Are Forever, celebrates its 50th anniversary. The last one is the last released last year. Doctor No. It's first one of the all 25 James Bond movie franchise since year 1962. Celebrate its 60th anniversary. So pros cons, it's family crest on each one of the coins, except the No Time to Die, because it's not anniversary, just to say the year of release. On the other coins, looks very cool and consistent. Cons, I think there's no ending of the collection series, because bear in mind they are their anniversary celebration every 5 or 10 years, which means you have 5 or 10 years to wait for the next coin release. Sixth coin is considering there are 25 movies so far, you never know how many you're going to collect in total, and you have to wait for so many years. Now it comes to the last coin collection series for James Bond, which I call the 60 anniversary ones. Those ones all have 007 logo. Why is there are only silver coin? As I repeatedly mentioned, I don't collect the gold coin. Why? Because I cannot afford to buy gold coins, too expensive. Yeah, I guess that's the reason. And as I said, I feel there's a more potential for silver coin to increase its value in the future, so I'm keen to collect the silver coins instead. For the 60th anniversary one, there are totally 6 coins. Based on my survey, correct me if I'm wrong. There are 2 proof coins and 4 bullion coins. So I like all of those James Bond coins, to be honest. But since I'm not a huge fan of a James Bond movie, I'm not gonna collect all of them. I just choose to buy a couple. Also, if I'm financially capable, I definitely buy all of them. But unfortunately, I'm not. Collecting, as I mentioned previously, collecting coins is an expensive hobby, but and you cannot guarantee the future return for the coin you invested. So why not just choose the one you like? I just follow my heart to select the most eye-appealing one, like this one on my table with the iconic 007 logo. With signature graphic view of the bullet traveling through the gun barrel to form a beautiful rifling. Let me open this to show you. Gently take it out. Okay, the front side, just say the 007, No Time to Die. Very iconic logo, 007. You're probably familiar with this logo, and it's one Aussie silver coin with color. Back of it, it's one Troy Aussie coin, and purity 99.99. Mintage is 30,000 in total, but it does has a limited issue. Quite sure it's 3,000 in total. So let me try to take it out from here. Okay, so easy to take it out. So I move it closer to the camera so you can have a clear visualization of that. So on the back of the coin, still Queen Elizabeth II, because the coin, remember the coins were released in 2022, so obviously Queen is still on the coin. It's so pretty, this coin. To this side, take a closer look. Okay. So besides that, there's another one I collected, which is this one with a family crest. And this one was initially the James Bond family crest was the first released to audience in Bond's seventh movie on Her Majesty's Secret Service back in year 1969. So let me take it out from this pack. Okay, maybe just take it out. So and to the top there's the inscription of 60 years of James Bond. That makes sense because it was celebrate the first film, as I mentioned previously, in Dr. No, which is the first movie in 1962. So up to 2022, which is the release year of this particular coin, it's exactly 60 years. And beside that, you can see the number 60 on the family crest. You probably noticed, as I showed you previously, this family crest also appears on the different anniversary coins. Let me just pull this slide so you can have a look. As you can see on the circled ones, they are all the family crest on the coins, and on different one, say there's a gold for GoldenEye is the 25th anniversary, so that's why 25 is on the coin. So similarly for your eyes only, 40th anniversary is 40 on it. So it's quite interesting. I think the blank space on the family crest is a perfect spot to display the number of anniversary, which is just perfect size. And at the bottom, as you can see, this tiny thing, and just say orbis non sufficit, which is in Latin means the word is not enough. So this is the whole coin. Let me flip back, take a look. Queen still on the back side of the opposite side of the coin. Yeah. Okay, for this particular one, it has a mintage of 25,000 in total, and there's a limited issue of 1,000. Remember just now I mentioned that I want to talk about the No Time to Die coins. Why I want to talk about that? Because as you noticed previously, the No Time to Die 1 Aussie proof silver coin and a 5 gram foil were released in year 2020. But as you know, if you watch a movie in the cinema, you know the movie was released in 2021. So why the coin release is 1 year early? It's quite interesting. But let's take a look at the timeline of the movie release. Let's take a look at some facts. So the title of the Bond 25th movie is decided to be A No Time to Die, which is in year 2019 in August. And at the beginning, the original scheduled release date is in November 2019. But unfortunately, it was because of the change of director, so due to the departure of director Danny, there's was postponed to April 2020. And there was a second postponed to November 2020. As Bond fan site sent a letter to No Time to Die producer suggesting further release delay due to by that time WHO declaring a worldwide outbreak of a pandemic, which MGM Studio Incorporated approved the deferred release date. So that was back in November 2020. But however, eventually the movie was delayed again and released in Australia in November 2021, which is 2 years later than the originally scheduled release date. In UK and the United States was released a bit early than Australia, but still quite late. So is one released in late September 2021. The other is in early October 21. So the second delay until 2020, I would assume could be one of the reasons why the coin release year was 2020 instead of 21. See, now it makes sense, right? Okay, everyone, this is almost the end of my show. Hope you found it useful. As I previously mentioned, James Bond Legacy Series 3rd issue silver coin approved Scarlet coin will be released in May, on 16th May this year. Another exciting news I found from their official website is there's also a James Bond minted mini coin released on the same day. I'm just curious how it can be. The last thing, as I always mention, the spot price of silver today, when I recorded this episode, is about $37.68 Australian dollars per Aussie. Have fun in collecting coins, everyone. See you all in my next episode. Bye, everyone.